My ascension, it began on an ordinary day. I was at home, wrapped in silence, when the air around me began to shimmer. Tiny golden stars appeared, floating in the room. They were not dust, not reflections. Each spark pulsed with a life of its own, breathing softly as if the universe itself had entered my space. As those lights danced around me, ancient memories began to stir. They were not from this lifetime, but from somewhere beyond time. I felt presences gathering, vast, powerful, unseen. Then a vision unfolded. Beside me stood a reptilian being, wearing a glowing green necklace that radiated a hypnotic energy. Behind her, a colossal face emerged from the void, and towering angels stretched across the horizon, silent sentinels of an invisible kingdom. My first thought was simple and terrifying. I must be losing my mind. The way people looked at me only deepened the fear. Their eyes said madness, but something deeper within whispered, "No, this is remembering." Searching for answers, I turned to the internet. That was when I found the image of Ashtar Sharon. The instant I saw him, recognition struck like lightning. I knew him, and with that recognition, memories began to pour through me. I was not merely this human form. Inside me, another self was awakening, an identity older than the stars. I sat down in silence, looking at my own arm. I saw it glowing in a deep celestial blue, speckled with tiny points of starlight. Then, with no warning, my surroundings dissolved. I was standing in the endless expanse of space. There, a circular consciousness, a luminous sphere of awareness floated before me. A master appeared, radiant and timeless, his presence both peaceful and immeasurably powerful. His voice was not sound, but thought, resonating directly within me. "There is a mission on Earth. Will you go?" I hesitated. The master smiled, as if he had already heard my soul's answer. "I will return for your decision," he said, and faded into the starlit void. Silence filled me, vast and eternal. Then, like a memory breaking the surface of a dream, I remembered I had already agreed. When I whispered yes, a current of light surged through the cosmos and through me. Visions cascaded like a river of infinity. I saw myself standing in the infinite night, surrounded by a living web of energy, a network of consciousness that pulsed like thought itself. In that moment, I understood. All beings are connected. Every mind, every memory, every flicker of emotion is part of this great lattice, a field of shared awareness that flows like an unseen ocean between us all. But this revelation was not without struggle. Voices began to rise, whispers of other minds, fragments of forgotten worlds. What was real? What was spiritual? The boundaries dissolved until I could no longer tell. The days that followed were the loneliest of my life. I spent 10 years walking between worlds. The first 5 days felt like death itself, a hollow void, a total collapse of meaning. No one could understand. To speak would mean being called insane. And so I remained silent. It was just me, and the endless tide of thought streaming through the energetic web above and around everything. Night after night, I stayed awake, learning to read the energies of people, the invisible patterns hidden behind every gesture, every glance. I was forced to trust only one guide, my spirit. One night I placed my hand over my heart. Through the chaos, a voice emerged, clear and infinite. "I am with you." It was God, not a distant figure, but a living presence within me. In that instant I understood. There was no separation. It was me, God, and the all. Energies, thoughts, worlds, seen and unseen. My life became a dance between the old and the new. The old energy tried to pull me back into the world I once knew. My spirit pressed forward, step by step, toward a higher state of being. It was a rhythm of advance and retreat. One step into the new, one step back into the old, until slowly, the ancient patterns began to dissolve. Years passed in this sacred struggle. At last I saw the truth. This was not madness. This was ascension. And every golden star that first appeared around me was a message. A reminder that, through it all, I was never alone.